Oh, hey, and welcome back to your Calrissian Cup July Summer Major. I am back here, of course, it's R1H4 with, am I on this side? Yes, I point this way to get to Hammer and Uplink. Hey guys, welcome back. Some really exciting stuff there in that last match.
Oh my goodness.
Uplink, you weren't around for that one. Were you watching in the background there?
I was watching in the background. OMG. That was amazing. In the chat, I was like, what? What just happened?
Do we know how to run the rest of the show if Splinter Squadron doesn't win? Do we know how any of that works? No, I'm just kidding. No, an excellent play and counter play there from Imperial Guard and Splinter Squadron. It's a great. Okay, Hammer, you talked about it a little bit. There was, I don't know if you want to call it maybe a little bit of a break, maybe a little bit of relaxation from Splinter Squadron's side of things, whereas IG, it looks like they have been a little bit more intense. Do you think that was it, or do you think IG just had the right plays, the right counter to Splinter Squadron's strategy going in?
I think it's a mix of both. I think it's a mix of IG keeping on it and keeping steady, as well as, thinking through, okay, what do we do to mix things up, right? Against a team that might be doing things by a rule book that they've already defined in past tournaments, right?
It's a fair point. It's a fair point. Well,
they wrote the book and then they read it.
Exactly.
That's right. All right. Well, we are just about to hop into Cavern Angels Gold versus Randolorians. Uplink and Hammer, you guys take it away for our second semifinals match.
Yeah. Let's check
we
this
flipped
out.
sides. Look at that.
Look at that. Whoa. Right to left, left to right, back and forth. The teams, as we said before the break, is going to be Randolorians versus Cavern Angels. Gold Randos going on the Galactic Empire, and Cavern Angels going on the New Republic. The map's going to be Galatan for game number 1. Again, a best of 5. Uplink, what are you feeling?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Everything's topsy-turvy now.
Whoa. Upside down world, man.
Zoink Scoob!
Zoinks!
Yeah, it's wild. I would have, if you would have told me earlier in the day, hey, Splinter Squadron's back in the saddle, and Imperial Guard. Well, Imperial Guard is stepping up their game, and they are been very consistent. If you would have told me before, I would have been like, wait, what? What are you talking about? What universe are we in?
Yeah. Where are we? I can't do an old man voice, but if I would, I would.
Kids these days.
Oh.
Cavern Angels versus the Randolorians. This is going to be a very good matchup. Cavern Angels stepping it up. They've been consistently growing in their skills, and they have been doing a fantastic job with their playing of squadrons. And then we've got the Randolorians, who have shown a very good show. They've had a good showing so far in the tournament.
Cavern Angels messing with me, putting all their ships on B-Wings. We know they're not going to open it with that. If they do open with that, I'm going to lose my mind. Y'all,
I dare
Joshers, y'all tomfools coming in here, having a moment with me. The dream could be real. I doubt it's going to be. I can't look away. I want to talk about randos, but I keep on seeing these B-Wings. Oh, there goes one. They're finally changing.
Cowards.
The Reaper on randos, rocking the targeting beacon, a supply droid. Their 2 bombers rocking the multi-lock Goliath. Their defender with anti-starfighter ion missile, and their fighter with ion missile ion torp burst cannon. And on Cavern Angels, finally the Y-wing with the beam or double beam rotary. That's the only one I could see. Interesting double beam. Wait, no, that must have been in my game glitching. There's no double beam on the Y-wing. I'm about to say, did they find some weird glitch they're using? But I 100% believe that's just my game having a moment on my one of my observers. Again, that big planet, didn't even know it was there until R1 pointed it out. Big, beautiful half circle. Again, shout out to Area Witch for these transitions and these map overview loading screens. Much appreciated. Shout out. Yeah. Also, shout out to everybody from TGS today and the camera folks. Thank you guys for always being amazing. I appreciate you. I'm sure that the audience appreciates you. As we get into game number 1, Cavern Angels Gold, Randolorians. Let's see how they play it out.
And here we go. All the chicken nuggets, the chicken tenders, man. Every time. I think it's because every time we play these maps, or they are played, it's around lunchtime. Maybe it's just the players being super hungry.
I usually get my post-Cal Cup dinner Grubhub that it's almost always like chicken, so it's always on my mind. Winner, chicken dinner. But now it's time to determine who's going to be the winner of game number 1. 1 minute and 34 seconds to go. The morale's still at half and half. No packs have been found. No packs have been murdered. Never say never, as we do see Randolorians and Cavern Angels clap back and forth, with CA getting the lead on morale, finding these stacks, but not finishing off the morale, allowing Randos to have a little bit of a pushback. 2 player kills and it would definitely go back. We'll see how it goes. Again, can they squeak out from this hole they've put themselves in? No, they cannot, as Cavern Angels able to efficiently get the damage here, Jester down, and begin their assault phase with a complete morale bar. CA Knight already on top of that cruiser, dumping burst cannons into it, gets off an ion, knocks the shields on Charlie down to half, and is not being contested as the shields on Charlie do fall with a full morale bar in about 26 seconds. So a fast shield drain. And I mean, Light Cruiser now down to 50. It's only been 35 seconds. It's at 47. They are just pushing into this cruiser. It hasn't even been a minute yet, folks.
Huge showing.
At 29 hull, continuing their damage. They do lose the Horror and Jish, but Knight not getting shot down, not getting contested, as he's just dumping into Charlie. It's now at 12, has been beaconed, keeping it for the out of phase, goes over immediately to Delta, see if he can get some damage down on Delta. And then pops back to Charlie to get it down even more, because the flip is coming at any second. One more AI, just preparing for it. Looks like there might be a game of chicken going on here. We do see the flip does happen. That cruiser's at 3. Knight will confirm off this cruiser, getting 15 points back towards Cavern Angels, as now Randolorians are going on their first offense.
Amazing opening from both teams, really. The speed that Cavern Angels had there, and then the speed at which Randolorians were able to pull it back. But still, they got one. Did they finish it off? If they did, I was completely blinking. And then the second one, shields down, and they still had half morale. That was all within. We're only 2 minutes in.
CA Gold. Strong plays. We'll see how they play it out in this phase right here. This phase, by the way, halfway through, Charlie's shields have been drained. The hull's at half. D still has a lot of shield left. Looks like they're going for a hard push into C. But they lose their Raider. That's 20 points away from them. Looks like they're going to be saving Charlie. It's at 5. It was Beacon. A little bit of a bonk on Vix as he tries to fly away. Bops into a little bit of an asteroid. Doesn't die, though. Just a little hurt. The morale's almost gone back towards Cavern Angels again, as Vix trying to get out of there, getting targeted pretty strong. The flip does happen. AI were found. And we do see the 15 points go back as they take that out of phase.
Always back and forth. That's when you know two teams are very even with their gameplay and their skills. If you can go back and forth, you guys you're on the same level. And Cavern Angels doing a really good job weaving through and using the wreckage and the chicken nuggets to their advantage here.
100%. As now the ISD assault begins. They've still got majority morale out here. Ray Shield has been disabled. Cavern Angels coming in and doing what they do best. Aham below with the ion on the power. Power has been knocked out of the sky. Both shields have been disabled. We will see a potential push onto targeting as well from Aham, getting up there, finding those weak points. All 5 have been made, mind you. We see Ralph coming in, trying to get the shields down. Gets one down to 24. It does get knocked out of the sky. The right shield is the only one that remains. Targeting is still 100% full.
The speed and efficiency of Cavern Angels.
Oh yeah, every time we do see they're attempting to take out that second shield. Got some ion damage on it, got some actual damage. It's now almost fallen. There it goes. Right shield falls as well. Only targeting remains on this ISD, but the flip is there. I do not know what health. It's at 44 is where the ISD is at. I don't know how many weak points have been knocked down, though. It all depends. If only like one has been knocked down, then this could be a potential Park. If not, I mean, they don't really have to waste it. They still have B standing. They still have time to farm. It all depends on how quickly they want to end this game.
Mm-hmm. They're in a really good spot to kind of make the decision of what they want to do.
Yeah. Full morale for the Randolorians, trying to capitalize on the time that they have. Desperately shutting down anybody that comes close, as well as trying to get on this Nebulon. It's down. Full morale bar on the MC75 push. Meanwhile, 2 members of Cavern Angels Gold are behind the ISD, trying to take it down. Parking back there, continually dumping into the ISD. It's now at 7, 6. Can Randos take down? Oh, nope, they find a weak point on the ISD, and that will be it.
Oh, my goodness. Out of
Cavern
phase
Angels
destruction.
parking behind the ISD, able to squeak out game number 1 against the Randolorians in an out of phase on the Star Destroyer. Looking at the scoreboard, though, we do see 73k cap ship on Ralph, Knight with 46k, Jish with 30k. Meanwhile, on the Randolorians, Vix with 65k, Brandon with 34k. 26 AI on Brandon as well, but just not enough to stop the objective damage efficient monsters that are Cavern Angels Gold.
Jester coming in with 5 kills on the opposite team with 0 player kills that entire match, it seemed. Oh my gosh. I don't even know. That ended so quickly. Like, what is there even to say?
It's Cavern Angels doing what they've done every time I've seen them play. Is they're really efficient with their damage, and whenever the camera's on Knight, whenever I'm looking at him, he just doesn't ever get shot down. So that happens too. Like Knight on that first push was just there, and then Ion, and then just like brought down that that cruiser to like nothing, and then it just got away with it. So the luck of the draw, I guess.
Yeah, he knows where to go.
100% knows where to be.
Yeah, good gravy. Like what? This is how you can, like, they have stepped up their game. They've always been kind of like mid-level team, but recently they have put in the effort going through, especially with the Eckhart's Ladder Twin Suns tournament. They showed up and dealt some damage and brought Splinter Squadron almost to their knees. Just incredible showing for them, and they ever since then they have been top tier for the team so far. It's been awesome to see them grow as a team, and their strategies start to cement. And like you can say, oh yeah, Cavern Angels, this is going to be a fantastic game no matter who there's going up against. Where do you see Randos going forward after that quick destruction there?
I guess it all comes down to what map they're going to choose for game number 2. They have to PK against the efficient objective damage that Cavern Angels is able to consistently execute on. They have to, much like how IG was able to mess with the playbook that Splinter had, you need to see the Randolorians mess with the playbook that Cavern Angels has, which is like just successfully PKing a lot of their objective damage bringers on flip, and to be able to shut them down, to not have them all swarm at the same time.
it's an interesting spot. There it is again. It's a tough spot to be for Randolorians after that first destruction that they had in their first match. Like they completely demolished 3-0, and here they are, possibly going to be in the same situation, maybe, unless they step up their game and show a huge offering on their strategy.
Still setting up the lobby. We'll find out in a minute what's going to happen. Again, the Calrissian Cup Summer Major $2,000 prize pool. Not only is it going for cash today, it's going for points as well to get into the grand finals. It's going to be in October, 1 year since the launch of the game in 3 months. They've already had 9 months of squadrons. Hard to believe. Time flies. Whoa,
that's crazy to think about.
Yeah.
What?
We started doing Cal started in January, right? So like we've been chugging along. It's been a while. Glad to be here though. It's always fun.
It is. It is. Star Wars Squadrons is such a highlight, and it's good to see a Star Wars esports title and what's happening there.
Yes. Show the franchise some love in the video game department. I know 2021's not going to be the year for it, but for new games, that is. For this game, yes. Always good to see. Always good to see. I think that this IP has definitely always leaned itself towards something like this, and I'm glad to see that it finally happened.
Yeah, exactly. Finally. It's sad to see more Star Wars games from EA.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to say, but then butchered. Yeah, it's like it's sad that nothing is going to happen this year in EA Play's announcements, but I'm appreciative of what we've got.
Yes, it's good. All of the games that they have offered, well, it's sad that we've only gotten 4 in the time span that EA has had the exclusivity license, but it's all of the stuff that they've brought in has been of a very high quality, and Squadrons has been such a highlight in the gaming world, a good shed of hope and joy.
A new hope, to say the least.
Yes, a new hope. Coming in with an unexpected showing and offering such a solid experience for all of us. Amazing, like all of us fans have been wanting something along these lines ever since something like Rogue Squadron. It's been good to have such a robust experience with.
I think that's. I was gonna say earlier, while we're waiting for the lobby to get up, is when I think of people that like Squadrons, there's like 2 camps, and sitting behind us in the caster's booth, we have the Rogue Squadron people, you and I. So like, our experience is like not XVT, at least for me. I don't want to speak for you, but like thinking about like age wise, like Rogue Squadron 2, 1, 2, and 3, like that's my expectation of a flight game. So like, I've never seen a competitive fight like Star Wars fighter game. XVT was, but that was not my game. I was too young.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Same here. Rogue Squadron was my introduction to what like some really solid starfighter gameplay would be.
Did you know that in Rogue Squadron 3, I believe, Rebel Strike, you could hook up a Game Boy Advance and you could discreetly issue commands to your AI co-pilots? I just learned that recently.
I always wanted to do that, but I wasn't fancy pants with the Game Boy Advance. I always saw like the trailers and stuff with the Game Boy Advance. I was like, oh, that'd be so cool.
Yeah. It just flew over my head until now, so.
It was really cool. Rogue Squadron was, man, Rogue Squadron 3. It would be a hard competition between the second and the third one for my favorites.
I think, so if you can hear that, sorry, there's a motorcycle just going ham outside. I would say for me, probably 3, because 3 has 2 in a co-op mode, right? So you got both games for the price of 1.
Yeah. This is true. Yeah, oh man, the co-op mode too was so fun.
And the wave mode was fun too, though. I went back and played it recently. It's a bit more janky than you might remember. But with that being said, looks like the teams are in. The map's Fostar Haven. The faction is going to be Cavern Angels Gold on New Republic. The Randolorians on Empire. We'll see how it goes. Yeah, allowing NR to possibly have another engine park. Depends.
Yeah.
The lineup looks the same too. Knight, Aham, the Horror, Jish, Ralph, and then on the Randolorians, Alex, Brandon, Submo, Jester, and Vix.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm looking forward to seeing how the balance between the Empire and the New Republic is going to be in this match, because we've been seeing kind of like an even spread so far. One or the other depends on your speciality with a specific faction. Like, are you more proficient in New Republic versus the other team's proficiency in the Empire? That's what it ultimately comes down to. So it's looking forward to it for sure.
Yeah. Oh. Meanwhile, just talking it through, for people who are just tuning in, this is the second semifinal of the day in this Calrissian Cup Summer Major. The first semifinal, a bit of a potential toss-up, depending on how you looked at today's bracket. IG 3-1ing Splinter Squadron into the grand finals. Here we are in the second semifinals of the day. CA Gold again up 1 against Randolorians in a best of 5 to determine who is going to be going into this grand finals today.
It's big, man. It's big. We've got some upsets. We've got some wonderful teams paired up today. The brackets been looking really good so far. If you are just tuning in, we've had a really good showing here. We've had Cavern Angels took it over Savrip Squadron, Randolorians took it over Gray Squadron Tempest, Imperial Guard took it over Remnant Squadron, and then Splinter Squadron took it out over Baywatch. And then we are against Cavern Angels and the Randolorians right now, and Imperial Guard took it over Splinter Squadron.
Looks like we're getting dumped into the lobby, so let's check out these loadouts, see what's going on. Of course, got to give the teams a little bit of a second to confirm their loadouts, but we'll find that out in the next minute. We do see, of course, 3 bombers, I can't count, a Reaper and a Defender. Supply droid targeting beacons on Submo. The bombers running their pretty standard reinforced Goliath multi-lock on that TIE bomber, just pure DPS monstrosities that they are. Meanwhile, on Cavern Angels, again, they're having a little bit of fun, a little bit of a tomfoolery. They first put in Bs, now they're putting in all As, having a little goof, a little gaff. We'll find out in a minute what they're going to be doing, but we won't find out until they tell us.
It's definitely going to be all A-wings.
The Defender Jester's running Anti-Starfighter Ion, by the way, with an agile hull, so he's going for just pure aggro. As we wait to see what Cavern Angels wants to do with 17 seconds left. There we go, there's the confirmations. We see an X-Wing on CA Knight with Ion Proton, the AIA Ham with targeting beacon supply droid, and the U2 Ys with multi-lock Goliath, and 1X with Burst Proton Ion Missile. You couldn't let me see those loadouts. You were wrong. A little bit of fun, always a good fun time as we begin the loading into Fostar Haven. Again, look at that beautiful fishbowl pop in and out of it in these phases. The opening phase where the AI is the most predictable. Look at these beautiful graphite pencil meteorites. I don't know what they are technically, but it's what I always think of when I see them. Like you just write on a piece of paper with those. Be a big piece of paper, mind you, but you could.
Floating around in space. Space pencils.
Yeah, space pencils. Yes. It's there. It's the technical term.
Okay, we're loading in.
Yeah, game number 2. Again, CA Gold up 1. Randos down 1, obviously. In a best of 5. Who is going to win game number 2? Is CA Gold going to make this a 2-0, lining up for a potential sweep, or the Randos going to bite back on Empire and get game number 2, get that dubski? Let's find out, folks. As we begin the approach, of course, we're going to see the Y-Wings lining up, trying to find their stacks. We see the Bombers lining up, trying to find their stacks. Well, 1 minute and 30 seconds ago, we do see engagements have started. Beacons are out.
The beacons are lit.
Back and forth, Goliaths make the bar go absolutely crazy. It's now within the Rando's favor, but again, every second that they don't bring it over the edge, the second the Cavern Angels is able to bring it back towards center. But the AI is being consistently found by the Randolorians out here. A player kill or two would be massive. But all of Cavern Angels' gold besides Ralph are full on everything, making it a bit of a difficult journey to lock out this morale as it drags back towards center. The Corvette's still full health. How is the Raider doing is the big question. If they're able to squeak out that Raider, that would push it over the halfway point. 47 seconds to go. Quite a slugfest of an opener. No clear victor here. Raider has lost its shields full hull, however. Meanwhile, Alex, very weak at 6. Brandon, very weak at 15, gets a repair, but Alex, no repair to be seen. They've lost the morale advantage. 30 seconds to go. They get it back with a kill on that Corvette, but then they lose Alex in the struggle. Back and forth it goes. Player kills abound. Goliaths abound. AI, it's a massacre out here. Can they just confirm it, though? With 10 seconds to go, unless something crazy happens for Cavern Angels, it's going to be a Randolorian 1 opening phase. And
oh my goodness.
We did see Aham desperately trying to get down that Raider, but was for naught, as now we have Randos on their opening phase. Let's see how they play it out.
Strong opening from the Randolorians here. Cavern Angels, they got some work to put in.
Oh yeah.
Really difficult map for AI farming, for sure. And
100%.
Not my favorite map, just because of how long it takes to get into the action. But
see, that's the thing though, is that it's because it's hard to get back in the action, and because it's hard to find 5 stacks outside of the opening phase and maybe like a second cap ship push. It makes winning that coin flip stupidly important, because look at how slow the morale bar is moving here. Like, D is at like 30, 26, and the morale bar is not even at half yet, albeit sub mode does fall to a player kill. But even having a player kill here just didn't matter, as D's now out of phaseable. Now they can just bump into C, taking down the shield, draining it. They knocked down D. The big question was, I wasn't paying attention, was the Raider there? The hard part for context, the mini-map on Fostar, you can't use it as an indication where the Raider is, or Corvette, because they're all vertically stacked. So you have to kind of see it in-game. Morale being lost.
Raider's still just floating around.
Oh. Morale being lost. Fi the second. It does do the flip as they take down Delta, but not Charlie. Opening up Cavern Angels to come in to this cruiser. We see Ralph doing what Ralph always does, immediately there on top of that cruiser. Gets down, and Ion gets the shields down to a little above a half, and begins drifting back and forth to get the damage down, but not as optimal as game number 1. Gets an Ion down on Delta as well, but shields are up and still on both. Meanwhile, Ralph, losing all shields down to 60 hull, is able to float around and regenerate some, but is having way more aggro than the first game. D's shields down. AI stat, we just saw a stack of 3 being found by the Randolorians. Shields on Charlie and Delta have been drained entirely. Morale is still over the halfway point for Cavern Angels, but again, it's Fostar. Look at how slow this is going compared to other maps. Like, we haven't seen Yavin today, but like, it's just a complete 180 from a map like Yavin, where the flips are like instantaneous and there's like 7 of them in a game. Meanwhile, in this game, we'll see like 3, They've knocked down one of the cruisers. The other one still remains. Looks like they're just going for a full send. Let's see how they hold up. Again, Charlie's been knocked down. Oh.
You definitely have to try for it, because of how long each of the flips take. You have to make the decision to deal as much damage in a morale flip as you possibly can, because you may not be able to use. It may just take too long to get your morale flip next time. So it's very key that you do the damage you need to when you can, versus more strategic meta playing.
And we'll see how it goes as now Cavern Angels gold on the defense, Randolorians on the offense. They've just got to take down Charlie. It's already at 31. They will probably, more likely than not, take this down and begin their assault on the MC-75. Looks like Brandon's already lining up, expecting C to fall by the time he gets to the shields. There we go. C has fallen. Brandon coming in, gets ioned, though. Shut down on this approach, but not destroyed at 89 hull, able to rotate back around, has to get under the shield, starts rotoring into the shields, has a good spot, starts dumping into it, does take down that right shield. One subsystem down on the MC-75. Two of the Randolorians are in there currently. Brandon at 65 has not been shut down just yet. Might have enough hull to take down a large portion of the other shield as well. Starts dumping into it. Gets it down to 60, 50, 40, 30, 20. But gets knocked out of the sky. But that opens up enough time for the other team members to come in. They take down the second shield as well. 2 subs left on the MC-75. But morale getting lost by the second player kills. Submo down. Brandon down. Alex down. It's Shaw. Targeting getting nuked. The speed, my brain is melting. 3 subsystems down on the MC-75. Randolorians coming in here, slapping, saying, good luck defending this. If you don't one-phase me, smile. We'll see how it goes.
That was intense.
Oh, yeah. It was all over. So much happening, but then the intensity doesn't stop. Uplink, because Knight's coming in to this ISD, floating around the top, trying to get to the shields. We do see him get to the shields. He gets the ion down. One shield has been disabled. Both shields have been disabled. We'll see a quick rotate to power as Knight starts bursting into power. The rest of the team is there as well. The beacons have gone out. Power does get destroyed. All weak points have been made. Desperately looking for them. We do see one does immediately fall. Let's see how they do. Again, they almost have no morale left. This is a hard spot to be in. If they can get all 5. Oh, there it goes. The flip is there, but they found at least 3 weak points that I can tell. And the whole of the ISD is below half. They're definitely going to be trying to park back there. 3 members are back there right now. Meanwhile, 3 members are pumping up onto the MC-75. We see 2 members of Randos trying to shut down the folks that are parking behind the engines back there, while the rest of the Randos go in to just swarm that MC-75. Again, another base race. Let's see how they do. Power's still up on the MC-75 because weak points have already been made. No point in trying to take it down if the weak points aren't going to be made, as they've already been destroyed. MC-75 now down to 10. The Star Destroyer.
Quick.
My eyes can't be on 2 things at once, folks. The Star Destroyer down to 8. The MC-75 down to nothing. There it goes.
Oh my
win for the Randolorians, clapping back, making it a 1-1 in semifinal number 2.
Oh man, they were so close.
Oh yeah. That Star Destroyer around, like, what? Last time I saw it was 8, probably around 87 or 6 by the time the game ended. Solid play.
1 more second.
Look at the scoreboard, though. 60K on Ralph, 59. Hold on. 60K on Ralph, 59K on Vix, 25 AI kills on Vix as well, 35 AI kills on the Horror, but 67K on Alex, and capture damage just could not engine park fast enough. The defense was there from the Randos. It was a 2v3, and that was just enough to slow it down for 3 members of Randolorians to get in there and just clean house, making it a 1v1.
That was neck and neck there. Oh my gosh, I cannot, like, that is one of my favorite parts of Squadrons, is when we get into a situation like that where both teams are like, okay, we have to try our hardest, and we are so even right now that 1 second or 2 seconds would have given it to Cavern Angels. And
if Randos didn't keep their defenders there, not the ship, but the role of defending the cap ship, that could have easily gone in Cavern Angels' favor. That comes down to split-second decisions by these teams. Unlike games like Dota, or other like traditional MOBAs that the games take a while. Of course, there's split-second decisions in those games too. Not to bring those games down by saying they're slower. They're not. They're complicated. There's that. But the fact that Squadrons goes by so quickly, those decisions just get exaggerated, right? Like it's there's less time to think, more like less time to react, and more time to just be like, we have to do this, go. So exciting to see. It was the right choice to make, obviously, as they were able to win with like a 6% hull buffer. That's not a big buffer in the slightest. That's tiny. But if they'd only kept one defender there, again, the role, not the ship, they probably wouldn't have won. Because they wouldn't. They would only be able to shut down one of the Parkers on Cavern Angels at a time, not two. And that would have been a double force multiplier, right? Like just times two to their damage in theory. So good stuff. As Randos make it a 1v1 in the semifinals. Again, semifinal number 2. IG 3-1ing Splinter to enter the grand finals on their end. We saw that here earlier. And again, whatever team ends up winning best of 5 here will be meeting IG up in that grand finals.
Huge moves there. Great decision on Randolorian's part, and great strategy for them to decide to say, hey, guys, stay here, defend the ship.
3-2.
Give us a little bit. Yep.
Yeah. Offensive 60, defensive 40.
Yeah. I was I'm glad you brought up Dota. I was talking to a friend of mine who tuned in for the stream for a little bit. I was like, they're like, it's hard to follow sometimes. I was like, just imagine Dota with Star Wars and in space with spaceships.
Yeah,
okay, yeah,
I
got that. Yeah, I understand it now.
Yeah, like the towers move slowly. That's different. And like there's like one gigantic mega creep per like offense, and then boom. Because I have a lot of my friends. The reason I bring up Dota in these broadcasts is because like my friend group is hardcore Dota players, and I'm not a good Dota player, but like that's like always been my ground of reference, right? So like, not the hate on League players. I've just never done it. I've never tried League. Apologies.
It's a widely known game as well. I think a lot of people know Dota, but League of Legends is also that too. But whichever game you decide to name it, it's pretty much a MOBA in space with really good space combat.
Yes, really fun combat. Good to see. Oh, man, to bring things back, though, snap back to reality. Boom, there goes gravity. 1-1, Randos, Cavern Angels, best of 5. What do we think's going to happen in game number 3?
I think we're going to see Cavern Angels get right back into the swing of things. I think they're going to they got slapped in the face with this game, and they're going to bring back their strategy hardcore. They were so close. So close. I think they're going to realize that they have to step up their game with the next match. And I think it's going to go like this for the whole set. I think we're going to see back and forth them adjusting their strategies and going even harder each time.
If we see more aggro on players like Knight when they come in, it'll definitely even out the odds. Again, we saw a lot of the aggro come down in this game. I wanted to point that out when it was going on, because like, you know, that first game, Knight's just there. In this game, he tries to get in. He has a little bit of a struggle on the first cruiser versus the second, but by the time he gets to the second, he's already had a decent amount of aggro on him, and that was huge. Of course, the team is not just Knight. The team is all of Cavern Angels, but Knight seems to be the foreman when it comes to the initial push for objective damage out of in this like forget cruiser phase. Not
exactly. Exactly.
Me can't speak English good.
No. I'm right there with you, man. You know how many times I've said interesting today?
Super Nintendo Chalmers. One of those days, folks. Beautiful Sunday. Cal Cup Summer Major, $2,000 prize pool. Again, brought to you by the Gaming Stadium TGS. I'm going to butcher this, but I'm going to go for it anyway. Canada's number one esports company. I messed it up, but you guys understand. Thank you, TGS. You guys are always great.
Yes.
To the cameramen, to the camera woman, to the production. Thank you guys for putting these on. As a community, we do greatly appreciate it. Always fun, always a blast. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
As we get into game number one, so I can stop being a dummy. Let's see what these teams are doing.
Okay. Let's see. Cavern Angels gold on the Empire here.
Yeah, 2 fight. Well, again, that's they got to determine what ships they want to use
support.
here.
Oh my gosh!
Whoa! What is this, like, still discovering the meta phase? No, I know, it's gonna change, but that brings me a little bit of flashbacks. I remember when people were trying to experiment with two supports for a while. Didn't really work, but it was attempted, right? Because you got to try things.
You do.
Meanwhile, I'm gonna pull up both these loadouts so I can see both. Randolorians running a pretty standard setup that they had before. Again, Bix and Brandon on the Bombers, Submo on X-Wing, Alex on support with Hardened Beacon Supply Droid, Ziggy on a Y-Wing as well with ICT. So we got ICT Goliath on Ziggy, on Brandon ICT and Multilock, and on Vix ICT and Goliath. A lot of ICT, a lot of try to stop defenders from insta-killing you. That's the shoe fly don't bother me button. Looks like CA's got their lineup. It's a TIE Fighter, Repair System, Ion Missile, Reaper targeting Beacon Supply Droid, Bomber with Multi-Lock Goliath, and I didn't see the last two because they're very sneaky about getting those loadouts up. We'll find out when the game starts, though. Meanwhile, looking at this loading screen, checking out that debris. Always fun to fly through, especially, I know it's different on practice mode, but one of the things I used to do when this game launched was, because I used to play it in VR exclusively, is I'd launch up that practice mode and I'd just fly in VR by myself for like 20 minutes every single time. So much fun. It's just a fun little sandbox that was given. If you guys haven't tried this game in VR, I highly suggest it. It is everything that little kid me wanted here. And now... Speaking of which, here and now we've got game number 3, Randolorians and Cavern Angels gold again, 1-1 Randos slapping back game number 2 on Fostar to get that W against the MC75. We'll see how the teams play it out, though, going into game number 3. Lining up their Goliaths out here as they're approaching. I guess in the next 10 seconds, what prediction go?
Pew pew.
Yeah, that's a good prediction. As the morale goes back and forth, a minute and 30 seconds to go, we do see Goliath being found on both sides. Aggro abound as Randos have the majority, but again, can they confirm that majority? We see multiple times today that it just swings back and forth as another Goliath AI stack was found. They're trying, we do see Submo desperately trying to get the shields down on this Raider. Gets it almost down entirely. Morale's back at half and half, back where we started. A minute to go. A minute and nothing has technically changed on this morale bar, though we all know a lot has changed. 50 hull left on that Raider. If Submo and crew can get that down, that 20 points will be huge for stopping Cavern Angels from getting this coin flip. But can they get it down quick enough? As one more AI will get the flip towards Cavern Angels. They get it! That was close to a possible CA shutout here. It might still happen, mind you, folks, but that was a good, at least, stopgap, but it wasn't enough as CA Gold does get the coin flip.
Already starting to see a faster adjustment of the morale than in the previous match just because of the map. But Cavern Angels did really well with that opening, going back and forth between randos. But, again, just because you win the coin flip doesn't mean you win the whole battle.
Very true. Win the battle, not the war. As they knock down the shields on Charlie, we do see Aham getting Ion, and Ion dunked out of the sky. The Horror at 24 hull has been beaconed as well. They're just trying to go for some player kills out here. Desperately trying to bring back this morale. Meanwhile, Charlie, an Ion dunk on the Horror. The Horror gets knocked out of the sky as well. Charlie's definitely out of phasable. Delta still has shields left. Looks like they're going to get some Ions on Delta. The Ions do hit knocking down Delta's shields to like 20-ish%. I'm sure they'll knock it out before the phase ends, though. Never say never. Jish out here in the rotary TIE Bomber, continuously dumping, as well as Knight out here in the fighter as well. One more AI, and it'll flip back towards the Randolorians. There we go. There's the flip. We'll see the out-of-phase attempt soon. I think Jish is going to run in and is going to be the one that's going to attempt it, though I'm misspeaking most likely because I see he's rotating. Somebody's going to come in. Solid stuff. We do see one of the numbers on the minimap coming in to knock it out of the sky. Oh, yeah, no, it's gone. I'm misspeaking entirely. That's fine, though. The Randolorians now on their offense, getting player killed. However, Alex does fall. Charlie's lost its shields, but the morale is being drained away from Cavern Angels Gold, or from Randolorians, as Cavern Angels Gold is quickly taking it back through AI and a player kill.
The Squadrons, man. Squadrons at its finest with this matchup right here. Randolorians, they're trying hard. They're doing a really good job. C is coming down. D still has most of it, if not all of its shields, so they're focusing on that. But Cavern Angels does get their morale back over, and they're going in for another attack.
We do see Brandon getting an out of phase on that cruiser, but again, they need to have a solid defense. I'll assume that B is gonna fall, but it all depends on how close they get the morale before it does fall.
Exactly. Cavern Angels going in. Knight doing what Knight does, just circling and going back in, dealing damage, floating around again, doing the same thing. Watch, rinse, repeat. Getting targeted a little bit there, trying to get away, goes back in for another run.
Yeah, they still have majority morale, though, which is nice. Let's see if they can capitalize again. Nebulon down to 16, 15, and falling. It will most likely fall in the next second here, as it's down to 6-4. We do see a rotation as Jish is lining up for an MC-75 push, but a lot of aggro on him, as he has been. Beacon gets ioned as well, tries to get into the shields. Gets down to 57, gets tractored, might get knocked out of the sky. We will see, can they knock down any of these subs? I'm not seeing any sub damage happen quite yet, as Jish gets another ion on him, refusing to let Jish in to get a shield push, but here comes all of Cavern Angels Gold. One AI and it'll flip back, however. Right shield does fall, and it's not flipping. Every second that it doesn't flip, the second that they're going to be able to get damage down. There's the flip, but at what cost, as Jish finally gets in there and knocks down the other shield.
Oh.
Well, both shields are down on
Randos
the MC-75. It's going to be a hard spot for defense. They have possibly one defense that's going to definitely leave their MC-75 out of phaseable if they're able to flip it quick enough. So
do you see Rando doing something similar that they did last time with leaving some, not the ships, but some defenders over there to protect the MC-75?
Right now?
Do you see them as we start to get further into this?
Yes, yeah. I definitely see them doing maybe a 40-60 split or something. Maybe not a 60-40 this time, but definitely trying to stall out the damage. Depends on how far they can get down the ISD on this push that they're going to have. But their morale bar is only at half and half on this push. So it all depends. We'll see what happens in the next 30 seconds. Vix is on the approach. Alex is on the approach, wants to get that beacon down, but does die, doesn't get the beacon down in time. Oh no, we do see them all on top of the shields, but the no beacon is huge. That could be a major determiner here on if they can get things down in time. Right shield does fall. Left shield still stands, however, as they're desperately trying to get it down, but they lose the morale.
Oh.
And it does fall. There we go. Both shields have fallen. Power is below half, but the DPS on the ISD is back up to full speed. The Imperial Star Destroyer at 82. We do see Brandon back behind the ISD, trying to get some damage in with the rest of his team as well, but he does fall. Two of them are left. One of them's trying to rotate back there as well. The power is at 35, and the ISD is still just standing strong, desperately trying to get down that hole. Looks like they're going to rotate the power quickly to see if they can make some weak points, because that could be a determining factor. And Ion gets locked out at power, but doesn't actually fully connect. The MC-75, meanwhile,
MC-75
is getting melted.
Shredded.
Is at 4. And there it goes.
There we go.
Not able to bring it back. We do see Cavern Angels coming back and forth, a 2-1 against Randolorians going into game number 4. Again, Cavern Angels, if they can win the next one, they go to the grand finals. We'll see what happens. Looking at the scoreboard, 51K on Jish, 54 on Ralph, 39 on Vix, 35 on Brandon, 35 on Submo as well. But Cavern Angels able to squeak out game number 3.
The great showing from both teams here. I do respect Randolorians for their decision to try to get some more damage onto the ISD. Ultimately, they would have been in a very rough situation for the Randos if they tried to go back towards the MC-75. They were in a really tough spot. They made the decision to stay with the ISD, maybe doing some damage out of phase, trying to out of phase it, but they were not able to make up the damage. They weren't able to capitalize on their attack phase to get enough to the point where it was out of phaseable. But Cavern Angels was in a great position there to bring it all the way to victory.
Yeah. Oh, and with that, we will let the team set up game number 4. Again, if CA Gold wins one more time, they go into the grand finals. Again, it is Cal Cup Summer Major coming down to the wire.
$2,000 are on the line for the victors.
Yes.
And a spot in the finals in October. Big things happening for Squadrons, for all the players here. It's going to be a good showing, and I'm really excited to see what the finals are going to be like later in October.
I know,
so 3 months away.
It's coming up. You know, I was saying with R1 earlier, it's like, whoa, what's happening? Like, I thought 2020 was like a fever dream, and all of a sudden it's like we're over halfway through 2021. Next thing I know, it'll be like 2025. I don't know anymore, man. Time's weird. Like, the eternal passage or whatever. I don't know what it's called, but
by the time we wake up and realize it, Squadrons 4 will be out.
Oh, one can dream. Oh, that'd be sick. Having 4 Squadrons games. Oh, I'd be spoiled rotten.
I know. I'd be happy with just a second one.
Yeah. I'm happy with what we got.
Yeah, exactly. It's a great game, great gameplay, and Cavern Angels and Randolorians showing up and showing out for Squadron's competitive play.
Oh, yeah.
It's coming. Oh. It's coming together, man.
Yeah. Always
Imperial
fun to be
Guard.
Here.
Whoever wins this match will go up against the Imperial Guard in the finals. Whoever, Randolorians or Cavern Angels, whoever is going to go up against the Imperial Guard, as I struggle to pronounce things, is going to be a fun and exciting match.
Yeah.
The best of the best going up against each other. I mean, Imperial Guard, they went up against Splinter and took the victory from them. So that's going to be in and of itself it's a badge of honor for them for sure.
Yeah, finally. Well, I mean, not finally, but able to squeak off a victor, get to the grand finals. They have their chance at winning a major. That's. Have they? Again, I don't want to misspeak, but has IG got to a major's top grand finals yet? I don't think they have, right?
I don't think so. Again, I'm not.
Again, misspeaking. We've been doing this for like 7 months. It's. Well, my old man brain will just. But.
By the time we get to the finals, we're like, oh yeah, they did get in there.
Squadrons.
Wait a second. We're gonna be
and what a journey we've made too. I just thinking back to the teams and how everything's changed, right? Like We had Gas in the beginning, and
true.
I'm not too sure if Gas is coming back for the grand finals. I know they have a ticket to it. I'm just not too sure. And just like how the teams have changed, how rosters have moved, how teams have consolidated. You know, seeing Vix on the Randolorians, Brandon on the Randolorians.
The games, the teams that we found in the beginning have changed completely, almost entirely for certain teams, from when we first met them at the beginning of the Calrissian Cup. It's really cool to see how the meta has changed throughout the updates, how the game has been adjusted, and the balance, and what sides are winning more, what ships are being used, what strategies are being used. We're seeing a lot more growth over the time span. Yeah, it's getting close to a year. We'll be celebrating a year by the time this tournament series ends, and it's going to be really cool and awesome to see where we go, looking back into the beginning of the tournament and how people have grown and changed and improved once we get to those grand finals.
I know, I'm scared to go back and watch old VODs. I don't know how I even sound. That's just me selfishly. Like, what do I even sound like when I did that? Who knows? But it'll be cool to go back, because like it's just like think about the way the meta's changed, and you know, like the A-Wing used to be like this monster that you were afraid to see, and the Defender being the Defender, and like a million rounds of nerfs, and it's still good because it's fundamentally good. And it's just nifty to go back and see the evolution.
Yeah, it's a great time capsule, and even from the beginning, like stuff like the first Operation Ace, the Creator Clash, those first beginning of the tournaments that we've been seeing. Going back and looking at those, especially like the Creator Clash, which I participated in, looking at my skills during that time, and like content creators compared to the pro players that we're seeing now, is incredible to see.
Man, that was before customs too. Oh, that was like a different world. Back then, I was I had to find people on my friends list and join their game mid-game to do a cast, and you can only cast one side of the game. Oh, it's been a while.
It was a rough time, and I'm really glad that we got those private matches for Squadrons.
Shout out to the developers of Squadrons for giving us that, because that was definitely didn't have to, right?
It was a game changer.
I remember I was maybe like an entitled gamer, but I was like on their forums, like, please give us custom games. Like I wrote like an essay. It's like just begging, like, and I sent some like emails too, because I'm passionate about it, right? So like,
I will find you and tell you that you need private matches.
And I'm happy that they were able to give us that. Eternally grateful. Thank you, Star Wars Squadrons devs, for what you've done.
Yes. For my podcast, there was a time when Squadrons launched, and basically in between when they added private matches, I was mentioning the want of private matches pretty much every episode.
Yeah.
It's like, guys, come on. Give it to us, please. And here we are, we're jumping in.
Yeah, and here we are.
On my personal favorite map, Yavin here. Good old Yavin. The haven that is Yavin.
Whoa! I'm craving for some Yavin.
Oh, yeah.
Let's see how they do. Again, the map that the flips just happened. The stacks are easily found, but so are the players. How will they play it out? 1 minute and 42 seconds to go. We do see the players lining up to find their pick of the litter. 1 minute and 30 seconds to go. We're going to see the AI anytime now. The mask is out on Cavern Angels, coming in, getting some damage down. Back and forth, trying to get a pick on a defender out here. Gets a player kill. Jish is dead. And the morale is very strongly going towards Randolorians here, as they're able to make a lot of noise, a lot of damage out here again. But never say never, as Cavern Angels able to find a 5-stack of AI with the Goliath, immediately get 15 points back.
Okay,
Yep.
Randolorian's still holding pretty strong, and they do get it. They get the coin flip. Cavern Angels were not able to get enough of the AI to claim the flip. Randolorians are starting their journey to get those frigates.
Yeah, let's see how they do. Again, checking out Alex. Alex is in there with the Ions on the Reaper. Has a bit of a little micro bonk on the frigate, but gets down this Ion. Trying to get them the shields entirely. The shields are drained on Charlie. Delta shields still remain. Looking like they're dumping into hull. Meanwhile, we do see Alex rotating over to Delta to get on the shield, and Delta as well does need a bit of aggro. Meanwhile, Ziggy very weak at 10 hull at the back at the resupply. Does not give out 10 points. Brandon with the rotary overcharged. Starts dumping into this Nebulon at 46. Rotates to have another charge. Goliaths are being knocked off on it. A little bit of aggro is being found, but they are just getting in there and just getting down damage. Morale's at the half and half point, and they're not stopping. Woo! They lose Raider, though.
One of the things about Yavin as a map is that you can have such drastic changes so quickly because you don't have anything to hide behind. It's pure skill. You can see all of the AI, you can see all of the players, you can see all of the frigates, everything.
We do see an out of phase from the Randolorians. Let's see how Cavern Angels is able to come in here and return force. Siege shields are at half. We do see Knight on top of this cruiser doing what Knight does best, drifting, rotating, bursting the stuff. Meanwhile, tries to see if he can get a pig out on a bomber. Not going to happen. The bomber got a resupply going back to the cruiser at 63. 59, it has been beaconed, falling. Meanwhile, the Y-Wings out here also dumping into this cruiser. Everybody is out here. Rolf's out here as well, just dumping in. It's a team effort. Aham out here getting Ions down on Delta, trying to get the shield stripped for when they can rotate over there, but losing morale by the second. One more AI. Woo. There it is. And it looks like most likely will be out of phaseable for Cavern Angels Gold, if so they choose.
All about the strategy. What do you want to decide to do? Because you could take it multiple ways. Do you want to just use that? Do you want to use that morale on your end, or do you want to use it on their end to take away some of it?
Looks like player kills are being found as Mr. Ziggy does fall. We do see just trying to find some AI. Meanwhile, Knight coming in to get some aggro down on Alex. The frigate has been popped 15 points back towards Cavern Angels. It's a half and half as they also lose the cruiser. Meanwhile, MC-75 is open for business. The Randolorians coming in. Vix on top, so is Brandon. They're both in there. They want to get those shields. We do see Vix rotate, get one of the shields, starts dumping into it. Can he get it?
Just camping
Left shield
out.
destroyed. Right shield almost destroyed. Just could not finish it off. Can he get in there to get that last 10 points before flip? That would be massive. Gets in there. Dumps it down. 2 subsystems down on the MC-75. It's not flipping. There's the flip. There's the damage. As now it goes back to Cavern Angels. Not out of phaseable. Only the shields are down. Ooh, Vix at 2. Vix does fall, making it a 5v4 on the approach for Cavern Angels Gold. A similar situation to a game we had earlier, right? They've taken down the shields and nothing else on the cap ship. Basically, it's a big warning sign of you've got like one more defense, but after that defense is done, your ship was most likely going to be out of phaseable. So they've got to get in here. They're taking down Delta, nearly full morale bar. They have to get into the ISD, take down, probably disable the shields, take down power, and just go for pure hull. If it's not looking like it's going to go their way, where the morale gets to 75-25, they need to get in and just confirm and take down those shield gens so they can engine part. If they don't, then they're going to lose. Meanwhile, they disable the shield. They start dumping into power. As expected, power has been beaconed, but they're losing morale quickly. At 79, that Star Destroyer. Power has been destroyed. Finding weak points immediately. We do see Knight finding one. A little more AI, though, and it'll go back towards the Randolorians. Looks like they're prioritizing hull damage, finding another weak point. There's the flip. That Star Destroyer's at 32, but the shields are still up. Looks like Knight's trying to rotate to engine part, but once those shields are re-enabled, it's not going to be a good time. Star Destroyer's at 27. And now we begin the MC75 push, where Brandon is coming in, rotering down the front of the MC75. It's at 90. The Star Destroyer is at 18. Power has been destroyed on the MC75. Those 5 weak points we made, Brandon sees immediately 2. Meanwhile, Cavern Angel's Knight getting ioned in the back of the ISD. Looks like it's a 1v4 behind the ISD, while 4 of them are on the MC75, looking for a 80-20 split out here. The Star Destroyer's at 2. It's at 1. It does fall.
Oh my gosh. They actually did it.
Looks like the 80-20 split did not save them, as Cavern Angels Gold 3-1s the Randolorians, pushing them into the grand finals of this Cal Cup Summer Major. Good job. Woo. Looking at that scoreboard, we got 64K on Knight, 36K on the Horror, 52K on Ralph, 34K on Jish, 1.3 on Aham in that support. The AI, 21 on the Horror, 22 on Jish. Meanwhile, on the Randolorians, 38K on Brandon, 61K on Vix, 45K on Ziggy, 11K on Jester, and 6.1 on Alex in that support, 27 AI on Brandon, 26 on Ziggy for AI kills. Solid plays from both teams. I don't think that that was a bad call. I think that that was literally down to the wire. Because, again, looking at these base race games, my eyes go, like, reverse cross-eyed as I'm like, one eye's here, one eye's here.
I thought Randolorians had it. Like, I wasn't even... I didn't connect the dots there. I was like, oh, no. Randolorians, they got this. But Cavern Angels were working in the background.
Yeah. They were able to get down that hole before the shields came back up. And that was what a lot of it came down to, right? Is like, if the shields came back up, they would have been screwed, but they got down the damage fast enough.
Yes.
And with
Great decision.
Calrissian Cup Grand Finals for the Summer Major are going to be Cavern Angels Gold and IG. We'll see who wins, but at first, we're going to go to a little bit of a break. Guys, we'll be back with some Grand Finals action.
Oh, yeah.